Konnichiwa, hello, my name is Miki and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys my favorites of 2019. Now, I am so happy that 2019 is over. I swear it was like one of the shittiest years, one of the best but shittiest years I've ever had in my life, and good riddance, it is gone. We are now in 2020. I am so glad that it is a new year. Now, a lot of the products that I'm going to be mentioning is going to be kind of repetitive because it's the stuff that I've loved all throughout 2019. So you're going to hear a lot of repeats, but I figure I give them one last mention so I can close out the year and just move on to newer products and hopefully find new favorites in 2020. Now, if you're new here or you enjoy my videos, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you actually know when I post my videos. And my disclaimer, if you are super sensitive to profanity or if you are easily offended, this is not the place for you. I am no filter bitch and I have no idea what's gonna come out of this mouth, so keep that in mind while you're watching. So if you guys are interested in my favorites of 2019, then just stay tuned. Ooh, I be looking ghostly today. I'm like in between shades right now. I'm not like the lightest shade, but I'm also not the second lightest shade, if that makes sense. Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys who have stuck through me all throughout 2019. If you guys are new and you joined me in 2019, I appreciate it. And I hope that you guys decide to stick with me and we can go through 2020 and make this a better year. Now, I know a lot of people said that 2019 was like their best year, but I gotta be honest, 2019 was one of the shittiest years I've ever had in my life. I also am really happy to be filming today because I actually just got over a upper respiratory infection, and today is like one of the first days that I can actually talk without coughing or sounding like complete shit. So I apologize if my voice kind of like sounds a little off every now and then. I just felt like I really just wanted to get glam and just sit in front of the camera with you guys and like share everything that I have loved in 2019. I'm basically wearing everything that I probably will continue to wear in 2020 as well, unless I can find better products for that specific category. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about are primers, and I don't really have primers. Like I only have one or two primers that I really used like ongoing throughout the year, and the first one is my NYX pore filler, but I'm not going to really show you guys it because you guys should probably already know what the NYX pore filler is by now. It's something that I used all throughout the beginning of 2019 until I found two different primers, and the first one is the Milani Prime and Protect. This has SPF 30 in it, and it is why it is my favorite primer because there's fucking sunscreen in it. And if you guys have watched any of my videos, you guys will know that sunscreen is like your skin's lifesaver. Always be wearing that sunscreen. I'm not going to get too much into this because I've talked about it several times in my video, but this is one of my tried and true primers because it also acts as a moisturizer, and you guys know that your girl's skin is always dry and crusty. So this is definitely something that I will be carrying on with me into 2020 because I still haven't found a SPF that acts as a primer as well. And so this is definitely something that I'm going to be repurchasing and using over and over again until I can find something to replace it. The other primer I've been using is the Makeup Revolution Baking Oil. The first time I actually tried this, I thought like, what the hell? Who puts oil on their face before foundation? But it actually works really freaking well. If you put this on before you do any of your foundation, it will take care of those dry flakes. You don't have as many dry spots as you would without the actual baking oil. And this works well for the foundation that I'm going to be mentioning in this video, which is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. I just absolutely love this and the foundation together. They work so well. I've also tried this with other foundations and I absolutely love it. It just really takes care of those really harsh like dry spots, you know, like when you have those crusties whenever you're trying to blend out like your foundation and it just does not blend or it just really sticks and cakes to that dry spot. This will actually help so your foundation doesn't get caught on those dry patches because those dry patches are now non-existent. With a lot of eyeshadows, there's always some kind of fallout, and I always have some kind of fallout, and it's always glitter or it's always like the darker shades. And so I started wearing eyeshadow first before my base. So I'm gonna mention the eyeshadow palettes that I have been loving or that I loved in 2019, and these are definitely palettes that I will be bringing into 2020. Now, the first thing is not really meant for your eye. It wasn't made for your eyes, but it's something that I've heard a lot of people mention they use as an eye primer, and that is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This is so fucking drying for my face. It's patchy. It doesn't blend very well. It doesn't sit very well on dry skin. I hated it as a concealer. So I started using it as a eyeshadow base, and let me tell you, this is like the best eye primer I've ever used. It's better than eye primers that are meant to be eye primers. Now you do have to have pretty hydrated eyelids to put this on, because again, it's the same as your under eyes. If your lids are dry, then it's going to cling to those dry patches. It's gonna look a hot mess. If you have oily eyelids, then great for you, because this is definitely going to keep it matte, because this is also a matte concealer. With this, there's no creasing, there's no smudging, there's no budging, there's nothing. Your eyeshadow will last all throughout the night and will look amazing. And so this is something that I will continue to use over and over again as an eye primer until I find an eye primer that actually does what it says, because I have hooded eyes. A lot of creasing happens with other eye primers, and this is like the only thing that I found that literally does everything that an eye primer should do. There's only two palettes that I really feel like I just truly loved and I truly just used every single time that I would put on makeup. And the first one is the Makeup Revolution Forever Flawless Chilled Palette. I love everything about this palette. I love the packaging because, again, I'm an avid weed smoker. I support the marijuana, you know, movement, all that good stuff. These colors are absolutely gorgeous. They are very, very pigmented. They're easily blendable. This is actually what I'm wearing on my eyes today. You guys will see a future video where I create this eye look, and I just absolutely love this palette. It is just everything you could possibly want in a $15 palette. 18 shades for $15. Blendability, pigment, easy to use, easy to put together. You can do a day look, night look, natural look, work look, whatever the hell you want to do, you can do it with this palette. It also has a very nice hefty little mirror. This is a metal palette, and so I really like that. I actually took this with me on my trip and nothing happened to it because it's nice, it's tin, it's metal, and I just really, really love this palette. I can't say enough about one of the shades fell out. I'm guessing that that probably happened because I was traveling and they were probably banging shit up all up in my suitcase. The next product that I'll show you guys will see just what they did with my suitcase because it has been a hot freaking mess. There's actually one shade in here that I cannot stop using as a transition shade, and I'm gonna try to do this without having this fall back out, but it is this okay, we're just gonna leave it. It is this relaxed shade down here. I actually pull this shade out no matter what palette I'm using. If I'm wearing any kind of makeup, that is the first shade that I pull out for my transition shade because it is just a beautiful shade and it goes well with my pale ass skin, and so I love this palette. The next palette I'm gonna be talking about is the Tati Beauty palette. This is seriously my all-time favorite 2019 launch, release, whatever you wanna call it, because this palette has literally everything. It is great for beginners, for amateurs, for pros, especially if you're someone who is just starting out to play with makeup. This palette has just such amazing blendability. It has amazing colors, and I love the tones, the shades, also the textures in here. Now, when Tati made this, she decided to create 4 different textures of eyeshadows. So you have a matte, you have a sequin, metallic, and a glitter type of texture. My favorite type of texture in the palettes are these sequin shades because they look matte, but when you turn them to the side, they have like this really pretty, I don't want to say glitter, but this like, I guess it could be glitter, but there's a little type of sheen to it. So whenever I swatch, like if I swatch the Story color here, you can see that there are little flecks of gold in there. Look at that. It is so pretty and gorgeous, and I just cannot say enough about this palette. There have been so many times where I thought I fucked up on my eye look, but I just blended out a little bit and it just brought me back to where I needed to be. With this, you can do natural, you can do day, you can do night, you can do work, you can do whatever the hell you want with this palette. I just absolutely love this palette. The one thing that was really devastating is my freaking mirror. As you can see, it is busted. This almost made me not want to use the palette again because I was afraid that shards of glass had went into the palettes or the pans, and so I was super duper worried. I was really pissed off, you guys. Like, I was so mad because I use this palette, but not as long as I have to actually be okay with the mirror breaking and the glass going everywhere. And so American Airlines, thank you so much for breaking my fucking favorite palette. Even though the mirror is broken, this is something that I will cherish. I cannot wait to see what else Tati comes out with in 2020. I actually bought the Blendiful sponge because it's something I've never seen. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, I've seen a powder puff. Powder puff has been used for like 50 years, whatever. I personally have never used that kind of powder puff, and so I'm really excited to try it out. So stick around for that because I will definitely be reviewing that guy. The next product is lash glue. This actually came out in 2019, I believe, because I don't remember using it any other time before. This is the Duo Quick Set Strip Lash Adhesive. This actually dries down a lot faster than the other glue, and I am just an impatient bitch, okay? I cannot stand waiting for anything, and that includes my lash glue drying. Like, as soon as I'm done applying my mascara, I want to be able to put my false lash on, and a lot of the time with other glues, I'll sit there and put my mascara on, and then I'll wait, and then I'll wait. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, wait for like 30 seconds for that kind of glue. I can wait 30 seconds, put it on my eyes, and it still moves around, and it's still really, really white, and it's just creating a goopy fucking mess on my eyes, and I absolutely hate it. With this, what I like to do is I like to take my false lashes, put on the lash glue, set it down on my little lash clip that I have, and I like to apply my mascara top, bottom, curl my lashes, do all that stuff, and then right as I'm finished with my mascara, I can go in and put my false lashes on without it being like a goopy, sticky mess. And so that's why I love this, because it dries down a lot faster than any of the other glues that I've tried. While we're on eyes, I'm going to mention some of my favorite mascaras. This mascara is something that I found towards the end of 2019 when I was like in an emergency situation where I didn't have any mascara on, but I had like a glam look. So I felt really naked, and this is the NYX On The Rise Volume Lift Mascara. Now, I absolutely hate the applicator because it is a silicone applicator, and if you guys have watched my videos, you guys will know I always bitch about the silicone applicators because they just really suck. There's just something about this formula that just really opens up the lashes, it separates them, it lengthens them. Now, I still have not to this day found a mascara that will hold my curls, but this is a great mascara because it really lifts the lashes. I can't say that it holds the curl, but it kind of lifts the lashes to where you can see them a little bit better, and it also lengthens, and that's something that I'm always looking for in a mascara, is any mascara that lengthens, I know I'm going to love. Now, I have two more mascaras that I want to mention. I have the NYX Worth the Hype in the waterproof. I haven't tried the non-waterproof one, but this guy I love. This thing is completely empty. It's dried out. I can't use it anymore because I've just loved the shit out of this thing, and I really like this because it's not a silicone applicator. It is one of those fluffy brush spoolies that you have in most normal mascaras back then, and I'm just an old school girl. I like the brush type of spoolie. The difference between these two is that for this one, it doesn't clump up as much as the Lift Mascara. Now, the Lift Mascara, you have to be really careful because if you keep layering it on, you're gonna have chunky eyelashes. I'm not one for spider lashes or anything like that. I like a nice, smooth, separated, lengthened, preferably curled lash, and that is what the NYX Worth the Hype gives me. Now, again, this does not hold a curl, but this lengthens, it separates, and no matter how many times I freaking layer this thing, you can't mess it up. Last mascara I have is the CoverGirl Exhibitionist. I love this mascara so much. This is also empty. It's dried out. I can't use it anymore, but this also has one of those fluffy brushes. It's not silicone. I love it so much. I also love the shape of this brush because it kind of have like that hourglass shape. This mascara literally does the exact same thing as a Too Faced Better Than Sex. So if you're in the lookout for a dupe for that Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara that is way more affordable, half the price, CoverGirl Exhibitionist is your guy. While we're on the eye area, I'm going to mention some brow products. I know a lot of people don't really go into detail about brow products because it's something that's usually overlooked, but it is part of your face and it's part of my makeup routine. It is my least favorite part of my makeup routine. The first one I have mentioned over and over again. This is from the European Wax Center. I absolutely love it. My best friend got me on this when I actually traveled to go see her in DC, and I have not been able to put it down. I actually still have a lot of this left. This is just a regular pencil that you can sharpen. I just absolutely love the European Wax Center brow products. I love their brow gel, their pencil, and this guy right here, which is another pencil. Once you put this on, it does not budge, like, at all. You still have a lot of time to really work with it, but after about 10 minutes or so, it just kind of sets on its own and it's there all freaking day long. It's not gonna budge, it's not gonna smudge, it's not gonna move, it just stays. And when you blend it out with a spoolie, it doesn't ball up. I am so tired of a lot of these brow products that are like $28, $25. They ball up. There's nothing really special about them. And I hate any kind of brow products that ball up whenever I'm blending it out, because then you get these little balls like in your eyebrow hairs, and it's just not a good look. The other brow products I'm gonna mention is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This also came out in 2019. I have been loving it. It's almost gone actually, and I'm gonna repurchase this because I absolutely love it. It is one of those twisty caps that have the skinny tip to it. I really like this just for lining the brows and even filling the brows, but I have been using the NYX Fill and Fluff to kind of fill in the brows, but I've noticed that whenever I blend it out with a spoolie, it blends away. And so this is definitely something that I prefer over the Fill and Fluff because it stays there, it's easily blendable, and it doesn't ball up. So the last brow products that I'm going to mention are the ColourPop brow products. Hands down, they are some of the most affordable, best brow pencils that I could ever really put on my eyebrows. These blend amazing, they don't ball up, and there's a lot of different shades that you can choose from. I have the ColourPop brow pencil and I have the Brow Boss. Now the Brow Boss is something that I recently got, but I know right away, as you can tell, if I like the brow product or if I don't. If it balls up at all, I don't like it. If it blends away with the spoolie, I don't like it. And so basically there's only a really short list of criteria that I look for in a brow product. Out of all of these brow pencils, the ColourPop is the most affordable, and I feel like the European Wax Center is a little bit up there in price, but this has lasted me like a year and a half, and it's still going. I still got probably another year and a half out of this. And then the NYX brow pencil is a little bit more in the mid-range. This way you guys have a little bit of an option. If you want something more affordable or a little bit more luxurious, then you can go with the European Wax Center brow pencil. Now I already mentioned my primers that I love, and so I'm gonna go into some foundation and concealer. Now if you guys don't know that this is my favorite by now, then I haven't repeated it enough. I absolutely love the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate foundation. This thing is just hands down the best foundation of 2019 that was released probably ever to me. This is the only foundation that I have literally used every single time that I put makeup to leave the house and I want not full coverage, like high medium coverage. This is the guy. This is my go-to. I cannot live without this thing. It is the only freaking foundation that I have found that does not, I repeat, does not cling to any of my dry patches. I've tried the Too Faced Born This Way. I don't know if you guys saw my packing video, but I did pack that with me on the trip, and it just does not compare to the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate. And also the Too Faced Born This Way is like double the price of this guy. This foundation, I believe, is like $12. To me, $12 for a high medium coverage foundation that does not stick to dry patches is fucking amazing. I'm not really sure how many shades there are, but I know that there's a freaking shit ton, and I just cannot say enough about this foundation. I wear it all the time. Anytime I know that I need more coverage than a light coverage foundation, this is the guy that I reach for. Until someone else comes out with a foundation that's better than this or is equally as good, I'm just gonna continue using this in 2020 because I still have not found a foundation with this much coverage that does not cling to dry patches and that is as affordable as this guy right here. The next foundation is also very affordable, but it's not as much coverage as the Makeup Revolution one. This is the NYX Born to Glow foundation. Now this has maybe medium coverage at the most, but this is for my days where I am just going out to go grocery shopping and I need a little bit of coverage to where I have maybe a little bit of acne on the sides of my cheeks, but this is more for when I don't have any big breakouts. Like today I got this really huge fucking unicorn horn right here in the middle of my face, so I'm using this guy. But if I didn't have this big ass unicorn horn on my face, I would totally be using this right now because this has just such a beautiful finish to it. It looks skin-like without being too cakey or too, how do you say, like foundation-y, if that makes sense. It does not settle in your fine lines. If you set it, it just is an absolutely gorgeous looking foundation. It gives you this glow, especially if you use this with like a nice moisturizing primer. Your skin looks so healthy, so glowy, skin-like, and just absolutely gorgeous. I always give foundations at least 3 or 4 tries before I make up my final like decision whether it's gonna be donated or it's gonna stay in my foundation drawer. And a lot of the time they only get about 3 uses and then they're donated. But these guys are basically empty, so that is saying a lot because I almost never finish any kind of foundations because again, they're just not suited for my skin. My skin is a very picky bitch and it is so freaking dry, and just a lot of foundations just do not go with my skin. Also, I had to find foundation that actually has my freaking shade because I am one of the palest shades in most any type of shade range. The NYX Born to Glow is also very freaking affordable, which is why I love these two guys so much. Like, you don't have to break the bank to get a good foundation. You can do it with affordable drugstore makeup right here. here. Next on is concealer, and I don't know how many more times I can say that I love these concealers so freaking much. I'm gonna first start off with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Concealer. I cannot with this concealer. Like, I love the coverage, I love the blendability. I may have talked shit about this when I first tried it out in my video, but it's something that I grew to love over time as I've been using it, because I found different ways to use it, different powders to set it with. I feel like Makeup Revolution just like hit the fucking jackpot when they came out with these two in 2019. Now with the concealer, the longer you leave it on, the more coverage it's gonna give. This to me is one of the best concealers because, again, my under eyes for some reason are just always so dry, and everything sticks to them, everything clings to them, accentuates the dryness, and I fucking hate it. Nobody likes dry, crusty skin peeking through foundation or concealer, and with this concealer, you can hide all that. You can hide the discoloration. Again, if you leave it on longer and let it dry a little bit before blending it out, it'll give you more coverage, and I like the versatility of a concealer like that. So if I don't want too much coverage, but I still want a little bit of glowiness below my eyes, I can go ahead and blend it out right away. And so I like that I can control not only the coverage, but just the thickness of this concealer. Also, these are like $9, which is just freaking amazing to me. I'm gonna say it loud and fucking clear. This has nothing on top of Shape Tape. This is the best. Like, fuck Shape Tape, okay? I have stopped using Shape Tape like almost a year ago, and this is like the new Shape Tape for me. This is just amazing. It's affordable, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. Next concealer is also something that I have just used, and it is literally empty. You can see the scrape marks that I have on the side here. This is the Milani Conceal and Perfect Long Wear Concealer. This is super duper hydrating. It feels hydrating underneath the eyes, and when it dries down, it doesn't feel very tight. Everything that I mentioned, like the concealers and the foundation, they normally don't crease if you set it. Now, if you don't set it, I can't really help you there, because most of the time I do set my face. Now with this guy, you can set it. You don't have to set it. It doesn't matter. It does not crease. Now, I don't know, for those people out there who have a little bit more creasing under the eyes, they may crease. If you have more crow's feet or like wrinkles around your eyes, it may crease. I'm sorry to say, but as you can see, I do not have very many wrinkles around my eyes because I haven't smiled much throughout the years. No, really though, I just don't have a lot of wrinkles around my eye areas. My skin and what's going on my face, it does not crease, and so I love this. Now, this does not have as much coverage as the Conceal and Hydrate from Makeup Revolution, but I just love it so much because it feels hydrating, it feels smooth, it feels milky and creamy, and it's just not super thick, but it still gives you that glowy finish under the eyes. I actually use this a lot on my natural days just to give a little bit of coverage to my veininess under the eyes. I love this. So if you're going for a more natural type of look, you can just literally dab like one little dot on each eye, blend it out with your finger, and you're good to go. And so this is definitely something that I'm going to be repurchased. I actually have to repurchase it because again, I'm already scraping it out of the bottle. Now this, I am never, ever, ever going to stop using this. I just can't. This is the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder. I just am so deeply, madly, and obsessively in love with this setting powder. I honestly don't know what to say except that it is the best fucking loose setting powder I have ever used in my entire life. I actually purchased Laura Mercier in the beginning of 2019 because my friend who was visiting, she was using it, and I've heard so much shit about Laura Mercier. I know you guys have too, that it's the best freaking loose setting powder out there, all that good stuff. But then I found out that Laura Mercier is in fact not cruelty-free, which I was a little bit shocked because I could have swore that Laura Mercier was cruelty-free, but she is not. This is before I found out that it wasn't cruelty-free. I tried it and I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is all the hype around that setting powder? Because it clinged to my dry patches. It made me look a hot mess. It also made me super duper texturized, and it just didn't do what I wanted a setting powder to do, which is not only just set your face, but to blur any kind of weird lines that you have or any kind of texture on your face. And it also, of course, has to set my foundation, but it also can't look cakey or overdone. And I'm also not like an avid baker, so it just, a lot of things go into powders for me to really like them. So when I tried the Laura Mercier, I returned it, not just because it wasn't cruelty-free, but because of the fact that I just did not like the powder. It looked like complete shit on my skin. This is hands down the best fucking setting powder I have ever used in my life. It blurs, it sets, it perfects. It just does all the things you want in a setting powder. It doesn't make you cakey. It doesn't make you look super makeup-y and overdone. And it's just such a nicely milled, fine powder. It just builds up to this beautiful, blurring, just, I don't even know. It's fucking magic, okay? This is definitely something that I will never, ever, ever stop using. Everybody who talks about Laura Mercier and how much they love it, that's how I feel about this powder right here. Oh my God, I almost forgot this guy. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me because this is literally something that I use every single time I put makeup. I don't use anything else. This is the Smashbox Cali Contour Palette. This thing has just, I don't know how it still looks this good because I wear this every single time I leave the house. There is no day, even on my natural days, I still at least use the bronzer or the blush. It literally has everything you need. If you are a pale skin girl like me, you have everything you need in this fucking palette right here. You don't need to go buy another blush. You don't need to go buy a bronzer or a contour or a highlight. I actually really love the highlighter in this palette, this guy right here. I'm not exactly sure what the shade is. It's very soft. It's very smooth. It doesn't have a gritty texture to it, and it doesn't accentuate any kind of texture on your face. Now this blush right here is my favorite shade because it just has that really tawny, taupey type of color to it. Now this contour shade and this bronzer shade, as you can see, the contour shade is a lot more cool tone. I cannot get away with orangey contour, you guys. I look like a fucking Oompa Loompa, and I cannot stand it when people are like, oh, this contour is for fair people, but they have so much orange or yellow undertones in it. I can't. And so I like more of a grayish, so gray and beige type of contour or a cool tone. Now for the bronzer, this again is not super orangey. It's not super Oompa Loompa-y. Like, this is the perfect bronzer for me in the summertime. It's not too orange. It's not too yellow. It's not too gray. Like, these shades right here for pale princesses is the perfect type of tone and shade that I want in my contour, in my bronzer, in my blush, and I just absolutely love this. All right, you guys, so those are my favorites of 2019. 2020 for me did start out pretty fucking shitty. After I got back from my trip, I started coughing and got an upper respiratory infection, all thanks to my husband. And then the other day, Bella decided to break her dew claw nail in half and just bleed all over the place, and she was crying and screaming. And so we just all have had a very stressful beginning 2020. Now, I'm not gonna spit the whole new year, new me bullshit. Nah, new year, same bitch, okay? I'm not someone who constantly like strives to change. Now, I will try and better myself in different aspects of my personality and my life. I just wanna be a better me than I was the year before. If there's any room for improvement or anything that I can work a little harder on, that is my plan coming into every single new year. I hope you guys had a great New Year's, and for those of you again who were new and joined me in 2019, I appreciate you. Those of you guys who have been with me since day one, thank you so much. I appreciate, like, you guys don't even know how much I appreciate you guys and just you guys watching my videos, commenting and liking my videos. I love it so much. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to click that big red button that says subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you actually know when I post my videos. And as always, if you have any tips, tricks, questions, comments, or if you simply want to talk shit, leave it on in the comment section below, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.